Alright guys, and as you can see, we are in the back shop now where I've done all the Yaris work. And I had a really big brain move here. When I put this thing in the back, I decided to leave this car idle for about 25 minutes. So that means this header is about, I don't know, 500 degrees. So we're going to have to let it cool off just a little bit or risk burning my fingerprints off, which may or may not be a bad thing at this point. But we're going to go ahead and take these bolts off across the front here. Once this thing cools down, like I said, we'll take it off from the bottom and hopefully get our new header slid up on there and see how she looks. I'm really excited to put this thing on. I think it's going to look awesome. I know this probably seems like this project is never ending, but it's just like every project. You get into one thing and then you realize there's something else that needs to be replaced. And this 91 Civic is no different. After taking off the header, I realized when I look down in here, and I don't know if it'll show up on camera well, but this radiator has seen much better days. I would venture to say this is probably the original radiator, and if not, it is a very, very old radiator that might have been replaced at one point. Alright guys, you can probably hear some of the coolant is still draining out of the lower radiator hose, but since I've got this out, I can kind of show you what I was talking about and why I want to get this replaced. You can see all these fins are really starting to get worn down. There's quite a few missing down at the bottom as well, all the way across, and what will happen is these will start to rot out. Could this one last, another 100,000 miles? Yeah, possibly. But my thoughts are, why even chance it? I mean, you can see where it's leaking down here. It's probably a slow leak, but we're right here. A radiator is not expensive. It's a lot cheaper than a head gasket or a motor for that matter. So we're going to go ahead and get this one ripped out. We'll get a different one put in. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and stick our new header on. Let's see if we can get this bad boy on here now, hopefully. Well, we've met another impasse. It looks like I am probably going to have to drop out this front lower cross member down below here, which is this piece here that bolts into the front of the motor for the motor mount. But all we need to do is drop it down far enough to allow for this to come down and be able to line up. We don't need much. Kind of a pain in the butt, but I think the header will definitely be worth it. I'm really hoping that it will clear. I've had this header on a shelf for a long time, so I'd really like to see it get put on. A little YouTube magic, we're back, and it is actually the next day. I was able to get this knocked out through the guy that I know that welds. And what we ended up doing was taking out more than what we actually needed, just so that we didn't have to do this twice. And also we went on an angle like this on both sides for more structural support so that it wasn't just vertical up and down. This will actually help with a little bit of structural integrity. Plus there is a plate that actually was put in underneath of here and runs about over to here and also over to here as well to help reinforce this. And then everything was welded up and painted, and overall really happy with it. So without further ado, we're going to work our way back up to the engine bay, go ahead and get this thing put in. All right, guys, and just like that, I've got our front cross member put back in, and as you can see, marked on this header is where we had our fitment issue before. The header kept hitting right about here, and we no longer have that issue. It is notched out perfectly, and we have plenty of extra room, also, which is good in the future in case we ever want to go turbo, so that we have a little bit more clearance for downpipe and whatnot. But I've still got to go ahead and get our front engine mount bolted back up when I get this thing back down on the ground. Once I do that, we'll move on to installing the radiator. All right, guys, and just like that, we've got our new radiator installed, and I've got to say, I love the way this thing fits. The hood closes perfectly fine. It does not hit, and all we really had to do was upgrade our overflow hose, got some new hose clamps, and trim this hose just a little bit so that I could slide it on further, because this is a dual core, so it's going to sit back a little bit further. In the next video, we are going to focus on the interior, so figure steering wheel, seats, and maybe a few other things along the way. So guys, if you like this video, please consider hitting the like button. It would mean the world to me if you would hit the subscribe button as well. And if you got any questions or comments, just put it right down in the comment section down below, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Good luck on your projects, and have a great day. Oh, and by the way, I'm not going to leave you without hearing how this new exhaust sounds, so enjoy.